Well, good morning, and here's my latest update. It's been a few weeks since my last update, but I guess I will start here. This is my little hybrid or tube system that I've been using. As you can see, it's pretty empty. Kale's doing well. But pretty much this has been taken over by the cucumbers. I've pretty much, I still have some cilantro here, but as you see, it's already gone to flower, as the spinach has as well. So I'll probably move these over to my composter. I'm not quite sure if I'll leave anything other than this cucumber plant in here. I'm going to direct the vines and probably try to get this thing, so get this plant taking over this entire area. So I have a little bit more control over how these are growing. And I do have quite a few cucumbers coming out on it. Been getting a lot of flowering. So hopefully this will be a pretty productive year. I decided to keep the cucumber in here. That will give me more control over insects. And I'm not sure how much longer I'll keep this kale in here. I've noticed the kale that because I've moved all these other plants out to my outdoor garden, and I'll show you that here in a bit. And it just seems like the outdoor garden is doing, as far as the kale, is doing quite a bit better. But I'm not sure. I might just leave this one in here just so I can compare and contrast the two styles. All right, well, here's the major. Let me back up major portion. I'm not even sure if I can get it all in frame, but this is the Roma tomato plant. It is just huge. And that is all coming out of this grow bed right here. I have another kale, and this guy's doing pretty well, but you see this tomato plant has just overtaken everything. Oh, and here's a little pecan tree I have a pecan tree in my backyard, and this little thing popped out, and I decided to put it in here about a week and a half ago to see if it'll root, and it has. So I'm going to leave that in here too, because what I'd like to eventually do is, probably, we'll see, I might keep this in here for a while, but I'd like to grow another pecan tree in the backyard. But back to the tomato plant. This thing has just gone crazy. There are tomatoes all over it. There's one there. Got one here. One in here. And they're getting to be pretty nice size. Another one here. A few more in here. And I've been cutting it back regularly to try to keep it in check and, have it divert all of its resources to making fruit. I've been stringing them up to the ceiling, but these things have really, it's just every day I find some more tomatoes, and it's kind of crowded out. I'm going to have to do some trimming under here because my other kale plants, which I'll probably move all these outside because this tomato plant is just really taken over. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to have a really, really productive year with tomato plants in just this one tomato plant alone. Let's go ahead and we'll take you outside and I'll show you how that's doing. Okay, now most of all these plants were growing inside in my aquaponics system. In fact, most of these came off that tube system. These are the celery plants, those stalks that they were the yellow innards of celery stalks, and they're regrowing pretty well. All these plants did go through a little bit of shock when I first moved them, which is pretty normal. But you see they're nice bright green. Here's one of the kale plants. I actually thought this thing was going to die. It looked like it was dying in there, so I just moved it out here, and it's doing well. Some Mexican green onions here. I got some garlic. This is lettuce that I moved outside from my aquaponic. I've already harvested this once. The kale, I've already harvested that one a couple times. This is the basil that I had growing inside. This is jalapeno, more jalapeno, and yet another jalapeno, and garlic. And these little seedlings here are just some seeds that I spread out. You see I have a lot more lettuce coming out, more cilantro. Not quite sure what this is. I don't think I planted this. That might be a weed. I'll let it get a little bit long, grow a little bit out, so I can determine what that exactly is. I have a lot more lettuce. And this here is actually from the lettuce plant, this one right here. It sent out some shoots. These shoots came out while they were growing inside in the aquaponics. Got that one here, and this is kind of crazy. I don't know if any of you all have seen this before. This is part of this plant right here. I do have some strawberries growing in here as well. I went out and bought those. And there's a couple basil plants that my mom had growing in her window, and they were dying. So she gave them to me, see if I can bring them back to life, and there they are. And then in here, these more chili plants that I had inside my aquaponics garden. There's this one. There's another kale. I've already harvested once from this. And this is a seedling here that was growing in my aquaponics that, as you can see, already has some tomatoes on it. And there's another one right there. So I should have plenty of tomatoes this year. These plants aren't as big, but they've already fruited up. So, and of course I'm watering all this from water in my aquaponics system. Here's that upside down garden that I've shown you guys throughout some of my updates, and it's doing really well. Big old onion, another Mexican green onion plant here. It's another onion bulb. And I cover that up with a little bit more soil. This here is oregano, spicy oregano plant. And these are just some cucumbers that just sprouted out of here. This one, the wind has kind of battered it because we've had some pretty high winds lately. But the one I'm really liking is this plant. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is actually a jalapeno plant from last year. And I kept it growing because I brought this whole unit inside. And all the leaves were looking like this. pretty much all of these have fallen off and been replaced with brand new leaves. So, and in fact there's a little jalapeno already popping up. So I'm looking forward to seeing. This will be this plant here is you know, already going to be a year old. This will be the second season that I've harvested from this particular plant. I've really grown, got a bunch of onion bulbs, and I started these back in January. So they've really taken off. They've gotten a lot bigger. These are all from onion bulbs. And I just put this one together a couple weeks back. Some cayenne pepper plants. I got a garlic in the middle. This is actually from my aquaponics garden. And this is from my aquaponics garden. This is that potato plant. When I transplanted it, I already had a couple little potato buds growing on the roots. And I just sprinkled a bunch of leftover seeds. I'm not quite sure what they are. I don't quite remember. I think this is some kind of lettuce. I think these might be spinach. So yeah, it's looking good. And the last thing is my fish tank. So I'll give you a little rundown on how that one's going. So this is doing pretty well. My goldfish doing well. See, I have a school there. It's kind of dwindled down. I had about 55 goldfish, and it looks like it might be down to about 35 now. But these remaining guys are all nice and fat. And see, they've become accustomed to whenever they see me, they think I'm getting ready to feed them. And there's the big catfish. Even he will come up to the top. And if you've been watching my videos, you see how huge that catfish has gotten from when I first put him in. Because he's got to be, I'd say at least 12 inches, maybe 13 inches now. And that's a little, actually caught him out of one of the lakes here that we go fishing at, Little Lake. You see the bluegill, 4 bluegill that we caught at another lake out here. They've more than survived. They've gotten pretty big. And the big surprise is this guy here. I made this fish trap with the intention of catching some more crawfish, and this guy hopped in there. Now, I think what he might be is a perch, but he's so small right now I'm not exactly sure. So I'll add him into the updates and hopefully figure out what he is. But we have caught some perch in that lake, so in fact I had got a whole bunch more, rather my cousin did. Caught about 15 about 4 or 5 inch perch, and I brought them all back here hoping that they would survive, but the battery pack died on my bubbler unit, my mobile bubbler unit, and so not a single one of them survived. This guy did though, so I had to take them all out of the tank. You see the water's nice and clear, And yeah, these fish are doing really well. So they're doing their job. And that tomato plant is proof. Kind of rigged up this little system here. I'm using my fishing pole. And what I've done is I've got some magnets which I attach to the hook. So there's no worry about any of these fish biting the hook. But I got some of the lettuce that I was growing, and I paper clipped them together and then stuck them to the magnet. And yeah, they chomp on that every once in a while, but they much rather prefer the food that I'm giving them, which is flakes for the goldfish, and then I've been feeding the other fish super worm and some of those salad shrimp. I got them at the store. It's like a bag of 500 for like $2.50. But yeah, I usually come feed these guys, and real relaxing to watch. But definitely the king of this whole tank is that catfish. I suspect the catfish has also been probably eating up the occasional goldfish, because I've seen all the small goldfish are all gone. So I'm pretty sure probably at night he's just sucked them up, which is fine. It's his tank. Some of the other things I've done is I added this here little Venturi setup that I had gotten with one of my pumps, and I kind of adapted this fitting here, and yeah, it works pretty well. I also sent the pipe. This is from my sump tank inside. Comes out here and feeds this tank. I went ahead and sent it down to the bottom, put some elbows to kind of stir up the water down below. And what I've also gone ahead and done is I've added another pump, which is down there, and I'm actually using my swirl filter, and it's been doing a really good job. So I have it in here, and it sucks up all of the solid waste from the bottom. I have it set up there in the middle of the tank, and collects in here. And this is where I've been getting the water to water my garden. So that's about it, and we'll see if there are any changes or any developments. I'll probably update this here in another 2-3 weeks. Alright, till then, thanks for watching.